those of us who went to high school and college in the 1960s or 1970s or 1980s, 1990s, we all learned the Big Bang. The Big Bang. The Big Bang theory of the universe says the universe was absolutely nothing. Then at one point, all the matter, all of the energy in the universe was one point. Each little point. Everything was one point. The whole universe, all time and space, all material, everything, you, me, our mind, energy, the oceans, billions and trillions of stars and energy was all one point, infinitely dense. Then it expanded. And it's expanding outward, constantly expanding outward. And that has been the accepted theory since, actually the early 70s, but since around the 1950s the theory started to come out. It really became much more accepted in the 1970s because of the work of Professor, I think his name is Blum at MIT in America, who basically, through some theories, proved that the Big Bang is basically the state of the universe. Nowadays, there's some new theory coming out, very controversial in physics, very controversial, but very interesting. And if you're a Buddhist, very wonderful. Even if you're not a Buddhist, doesn't matter. Very interesting. A group of scientists, one of whom is Stephen Hawking, the very famous Stephen Hawking. Stephen Hawking. He's in the wheelchair with the keyboard. Stephen Hawking, he's one of the people who backs it up, who says, and it's great, that the universe has always existed. It just exists and disappears in cycles. That this is just one cycle, this period of the universe that we're in is one cycle, but there were many, many before it. The Big Bang Theory doesn't have that possibility. So there's something in the Big Bang Theory that it just doesn't work because there's nothing and then appeared. It's kind of like the Bible teachings. There was nothing before God, then God appeared, then something, we all go, huh? Even St. Thomas Aquinas went, huh? Some of us went, huh? And went to Buddhism. Buddhism's very interesting because Buddhism says, very interesting, like these new guys in physics, says, universe has always existed in cycles, in these infinitely long cycles of appearing and disappearing. And, very interesting, don't believe me, it's in the Hyon Gak, it's in the Avatamsaka Sutra. Not only that, this universe that we're in now, think of it like a long hot dog. A pungson or something. This universe, there's many parallel universes at the same time. Infinite, not just one universe. We're in one universe that is part of an infinite ocean of infinite universes. All of them infinitely appearing and disappearing. No problem. Buddhist teaching has been saying that for 2,500 years. Now modern physics, the new hotshots in modern physics are saying, wait a minute. So there's this big controversy right now and conflict and stuff. Don't worry, we'll win, usually. But the point is, it's just like this. Our nature, or like space, it's the same thing. This mind, through endless kalpas without beginning, has never varied. Again, if you don't like the word mind, change it for space, or God, or whatever you like, dog, cat. And this mind, through endless kalpas without beginning, has never varied. It has never lived or died, appeared or disappeared, increased or decreased. Very interesting. The Big Bang Theory is that there was absolute, complete everything, and that there's expansion out of, but before that there was nothing. We can't conceive of it. But if you calculate it, there was nothing, then there was something, then it got big. But it doesn't make sense. Somehow it doesn't make sense. Where did all that matter come from that expanded? Well, Buddhism is very interesting. There was no beginning. There was never a beginning. See, we need to think of a beginning because we think of things in terms of a story. There was a beginning, and then something meant something, and then it got screwed up, and then it ended. It's like our life, or history, or United States of America, whatever you like. A movie, a war. There was nothing, then there was something, then the something got bigger and changed, and then there was nothing. But Buddhism teaches that if you look into your nature, there's never been a beginning. That's why when people ask the Buddha, how did the universe start? He would go, drink his Starbucks coffee. Same with mind. That is mind, because the whole universe is nothing but mind. So everything he's saying right here, you could take this to MIT, get a PhD in physics, just this one paragraph. Because this is where the leading edge of modern physics is just talking like this. Modern physics, the new guys. Don't believe me, go to Google and look it up. Right, astronomy, physics, Stephen Hawking controversy, something, Big Bang, something. Put it all in, you'll get something. You'll get this talk. Because all they're saying is this. The Big Bang people can't talk like this. Big Bang people kind of talk like the Bible. There was nothing, then he made something, then that something continues, and then it's all going to get screwed up and disappear. That's the Big Bang style. But this is interesting. This is hyper-modern physics today. Mind through endless kalpas without beginning. Endless kalpas without beginning. Endless kalpas without beginning has never changed. It has never lived or died, appeared or disappeared, increased or decreased. It's not pure or impure, good or evil, past or future. It's not true or false. It's not male or female. It doesn't appear as a monk or a layman, an elder or a younger, a sage or a fool, a Buddha or a sentient being. It strives for no realization and suffers no karma, our mind, our nature. Our mind doesn't try to strive for enlightenment. It's already enlightened. It's already complete. And it suffers no karma. It has no strength or form. It's like space. Wow. It's like space. I didn't read this before sitting down. I never do before coming to this spot. I never open this up before I sit in front of you. So that's amazing. It's like space. Wow. It's like space. You can't possess it. You can't possess it. And you can't lose it. Oh, my life is so screwed up nowadays. Oh, it was so good until last week. Then I made this mistake. Now it's terrible. I lost my position. I lost everything. No, you didn't. No, you didn't, stupid. Dum-dum. That's thinking. You never lose anything. This, what he's saying, this mind through endless kalpas without beginning has never varied. It has never changed. It has never lived or died, appeared or disappeared, increased or decreased. It's not pure or impure, good or evil, past or future. It's not true or false. It's not male or female. It doesn't appear as a monk or a layman, an elder or a novice, a sage or a fool, a Buddha or a sentient being. It strives for no realization and it suffers no karma. It has no strength or form. It's like space. You can't possess it, and you can't lose it. Its movements can't be blocked by mountains, rivers, or rock walls. Its unstoppable powers penetrate the mountain of 5 skandhas and cross the river of samsara. No karma can restrain this real body. Karma cannot restrain, even how many evil things you do, it cannot hinder your mind. Your bad karma, your sins, quote unquote, if you like that, your sins, cannot inhibit your nature. Cannot. The Buddha said that people are deluded. This is why, when they act, they fall into the river of endless rebirth. And trying to get out, they only sink deeper. This is really amazing. The Buddha said that people are just deluded. A very famous teaching by Hyon Sunim, Dawi, the Chinese name, Dawi. Very interesting. Sentient beings are deluded. They lose themselves and follow things. Very interesting. Very deep. One of my favorite Buddhist. It's like a knife, cutting right to the core. Sentient beings are deluded only because one thing. Only one thing. Sentient beings are deluded because they forget about themselves, they lose themselves, and follow things. Not things like objects, like a Benz or a BMW. Not things we always think like good things, food or sex or money. Yeah, that's also following things, but also following things here. Following things here. So Buddhist teaching teaches in one moment you become Buddha. And in one moment, you can become sentient being. You decide. You decide. You decide. Nobody does that for you. Your parents, your society, the political party, America. Nobody. You. You decide to wake up or go to sleep. You decide. It's all you, you, you. So, very interesting. The Buddha just said that people are deluded. That is why, when they act, they fall into the river of endless rebirth. And trying to get out, they only sink deeper. And all because they don't see their nature. So, sentient beings are deluded because they lose themselves. They forget about themselves, this pure, infinite thing, this boundless completeness. They forget about that and just follow things, random, round, head in their head. From the minute they also say, Zen masters say, before you get out of bed in the morning, how much have you already made heaven and hell? It's a beautiful teaching. Dogen, the Japanese master. How many times before you've gotten out of bed in the morning have you already made heaven and hell? You wake up. Oh, I have to go to work. Oh, I hate this job. Oh, I hate this job. Oh, I don't want to go. Oh, I hate this job. Oh, especially that sajang. Oh, today. Oh, I have to see sajang. Oh, that sajang. Oh, 얼마나 더러운 놈인지. 아유, 참. 에이, 그 사람 죽어도 돼. 뭐. Already you've become 살인. Killer. Before getting out of bed in the morning, how much have you made? Heaven and hell. Really? That's it. Sentient beings are deluded because they lose themselves, their fundamental nature, and follow things. The good things, the happy things, the sad things, the angry things, the worried things, the depressed things, all those things. But if you don't follow them, if you just don't touch them, then where you are, that's a Buddha. That's a Buddha, right? You don't have to do anything. You don't have to do anything. Sosan Desa, in the Mirror of Zen, the Sun Gagwigan, one of the chapters, one of my favorite ones. Just keeping your fundamental mind is the high-class original practice. 수번 진심 제1정진이라. 수번 진심 제1정진이다. Just keeping this mind, just this mind that hears, that's a Buddha. But I don't know, what a jerk. Well, I don't know, is it true? But that's a sentient being. When you follow that, that's all. But when you hear clearly, that's a Buddha. It's very clear. It happens right here. That's what I love about Buddhism. It's not a process. It's not a process. It happens right here. Your choice. The beautiful thing is, it's your choice. It's completely your choice. So, if people weren't deluded, why else would they ask about something right in front of them? That's great. If people weren't deluded, why would they ask about mind, which is right here? It's like asking you about my nose. Do I have a nose? 이거 보라. 커. That's like me asking about, do I have a nose? I've always been wondering because I really think that if I had a nose, but I read in a book once that if you really have a nose, that you just don't die, or that everything is. I don't know if I have a nose or not, but I once read in a book that a nose is like, it feels like what you. It's right here. It's very clear. So if you weren't deluded, you wouldn't ask if you had a nose. That's why everyone in this room, no one asks questions. We've been doing these Dharma talks for how many years? No one ever asked me if they have a nose. Because they know that they have one. They're sure of it. It's clear to them. It's unshakable in their mind. No one ever asks about having a mouth or eyes, because it's clear. They've seen them. They use them. You use your nose. So I know I have a nose. I see you. So I know I have eyes. I taste my Starbucks coffee. So I know I have a tongue and a mouth. We use our mind. And yet we ask about mind. Oh my God, that's so depressing. It's amazing. We use our mind. We have mind. Buddha nature. But we ask about Buddha nature. True self. How can I find my true self? How can I find my true self? We ask about finding true self, but we're using it even when we're asking. It's such a interesting paradox. So, if people weren't deluded, Why else would they ask about something right in front of them? Not one of them understands the movement of his own hands and feet. The Buddha was not mistaken. Deluded people don't know who they are. That's all. He wasn't mistaken. Deluded people just don't know who they are. Something so hard to fathom is known by a Buddha and no one else. Only the wise know this mind called Dharma nature, this mind called liberation. Neither life nor death can restrain this mind. Nothing can. Neither life nor death, neither life nor physical death can hold back this mind. So don't worry. Don't worry about it. There's nothing to worry about. Like the song says, don't worry, be happy. Really simple. Don't worry. Life or death, coming or going, your sadness or your anger, your disappointment, your worry, your fear, your regret, don't worry about it. Mind, which is your nature, your fundamental nature, cannot be hindered, cannot be restrained, cannot be tainted, cannot be bothered, limited, killed by what happens to you. Nothing can. It's also called the unstoppable Tathagata, the incomprehensible, the sacred self, the immortal, the great sage. Its names are many, but not its essence. Buddhas vary too. This is great. I love this. Buddhas vary too. But none leaves his own mind. Buddhas are different too. All of you Buddhas are different. Some of you Buddhas have yellow shirts. Some have red shirts. Mr. Lee Buddha has a pink shirt. It's very cute. Buddhas are all different. This is beautiful what he says. Buddhas vary too, but no Buddha, none, leaves his own mind. That's all. The mind's capacity is limitless, and its manifestations are inexhaustible. Seeing forms with your eyes, hearing sounds with your ears, smelling odors with your nose, tasting flavors with your tongue, every moment or mode, it's all your mind. At every moment where language can't go, that's your mind. At every moment where language can't go, every moment where language can't go, that's your mind. But where's the place where language can't go? That sounds very strange. I just went to Europe and came back. Where's the place where language can't? I can go to Europe. I can go to America. I can go to China and Russia. I can even go to Pyongyang, very carefully. What's the place where language can't go? What's the place where language can't go? Pay attention. What's that? Who heard that? Who hears that? Who hears that? Who hears that? Who hears that? If you look, if you really look, language and thinking cannot go there. The Palman Dejangyong cannot describe that moment. That's what we study and nothing else. What am I? When you ask that question, all thinking is cut off. When you ask that question, your thinking can't go there. When I was born, where did I come from? When I die, where do I go? When you ask that, not here, not concept, not here. When you really ask that, your thinking can't go there. It just goes doink, right there. Before another thought arises, that point, before another thought arises, that point, that's your mind. But if you call it mind, so it's a mistake. We have to talk now, so I say mind. I'm sorry. Make a bad smell. But at every moment where language can't go, that's your mind. But the moment you describe it, that's just your thinking. Very interesting. The mind's capacity is limitless, and its manifestations are inexhaustible. Seeing forms with your eyes, hearing sounds with your ears, smelling odors with your nose, tasting flavors with your tongue, every moment or mode, it's all your mind. When you do all those things, you don't find mind some other time or some other place. Right there. Right then. That's where it is. At every moment where language can't go, that's your mind. You don't need a PhD. In fact, a PhD will take you 1,000,000 miles away. That's why I didn't get one. The sutras say, a Tathagata's forms are endless, and so is his awareness. A Tathagata, Yore. A Tathagata's forms are endless, and so is his awareness. The endless variety of forms is due to mind. Yeah, everything seems different because of thinking. Its ability to distinguish things, whatever their movement or mode, is the mind's awareness. But mind has no form, and its awareness no limit. Hence, it's said, a Tathagata's forms are endless, and so is his awareness. So, does anybody have any questions about that? It's very simple. So the minute you call it something, in any religion, not just in Buddhism, the minute you call it something, that's not it. Buddhism is not about studying Buddhism. True Buddhist study is not studying Buddhism kachache. Buddhism is not interesting to study. Neither is Christianity or Islam or anything. Nothing is as interesting as this. When you study this, that's true Buddhist study. It's true Christian study and true Islamic study. Right here. It's not any of those things, actually. So, very interesting what he says. The place where thinking cannot go. The place where thinking cannot go. That is your mind. So we always use this story in our tradition. Socrates had the same teaching. Socrates every single day said the same thing. You think I might say the same thing every day, and I do. Socrates said a lot. He was a lot older than me. You know, he lived to what, 60 years old? Every day, know yourself, 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 know thyself, we say in the old English translation of it, know yourself. Then the student said, do you know yourself? To Socrates. The student said, Socrates, do you know yourself? And Socrates said, I don't know. this place where thinking cannot go, this not knowing, this place where thinking cannot go, I'm aware of that. That was it. That is self-knowledge. Know yourself. What am I? You want to know yourself? Ask yourself, what am I? What am I? When you ask yourself, what am I? When you ask yourself the question of self-knowledge, what am I? Your thinking can't go there. Your thinking can't penetrate it. Your thinking can't unlock it or unravel it or open it up. Your thinking can't. My thinking can't. Buddha's thinking can't. Buddha cannot know himself. Instead, asking, what am I? If the Buddha could know himself, he wouldn't get enlightenment under the Bodhi tree. Instead, he sat down and said, what am I? And he didn't know. He didn't know. He couldn't know. You can't with this. It's like trying to unlock a door with a stone. It's like, here's a keyhole for a door. It's like trying to take a stone and open a door. You can't. You can't do that. Thinking cannot unlock your life. It can explain some things. It can help you talk about some things. You can figure out a few things. Oh, that's why I have this kind of nose. Because my father, he's a German. Oh, now I know that. Yeah, you can know that. But you can't know what you are. You cannot. It's not possible. You can't know what you are. Not through thinking. No one has ever done it. So that's why in the Bible, in the Old Testament, be still. Still. No thinking. Drop your thinking. What am I? When you ask, what am I? What am I? That kind of still, before thinking arises, before thinking arises, that's it. It's right there. That's it. You don't have to go far. It's already there. That's the beautiful mystery of this, the beautiful completeness of this teaching. The one thing you can believe the most about this teaching is it's right there. And how do you know it? You can see it yourself. You don't need me. You don't need me. And you don't need Buddhism. You don't need Hwagesa. You don't need Heiensa. You don't need Myeongdong Songdang. You don't need Yoido Sunbogum Kyohei. You don't need any of those things. You don't need them. You can use them. Maybe they're a little helpful. But what's great about this teaching is it's very honest. It's right here. You can see it yourself. You can reveal it to yourself. You don't have to reveal it to me, and then I tell you, yes. You can reveal it to yourself. In fact, you reveal it to yourself every day. But you don't realize it. Every day you have that money, that big money in your pocket. It's sewn in there. But you walk around. You have the money. It's there. It's right there. You don't have to work another day to get it. It's already there. But you don't know it. So, you're poor guy. So that's why we say sentient being and Buddha, not different. Sentient being doesn't know it's a Buddha, so it's a sentient being. A Buddha just doesn't know. That's a Buddha. It's very clear. So what's amazing about Buddhism and why it's so fascinating in the West now, especially in America hugely, but especially in Europe. Especially in Europe. Unbelievably huge interest. Because there is this sense that anything outside, we have tried it already. We have tried it 1,000 times. And Europe, which underwent the bloodiest war in the history of humanity 50 years ago, 55 years ago, also saw that we who believed so well killed so perfectly, murdered so expertly. And no one came and saved us. So now there's the realization, only I can save myself. So now there's this looking inside. So the whole practice of Bodhidharma's teaching is not here. If you want to understand Bodhidharma's teaching, you want to understand Bodhidharma's true face, you want to understand why Bodhidharma came to the West, you want to understand anything about Bodhidharma, anything, just sit and say, look. Just look. Don't look for anything. Anything. Just look. Just pay attention. What am I? And pay attention. There's no thinking. Before thinking arises, that's it. You and the universe completely become one. Then there's no need for Buddha or Bodhidharma or God. So, that's the end of our talk for today. I want to thank everyone for coming. And most importantly, don't go home and look at these words again. Do not. Put this book down. I'm sorry we even have to take it out, but we need something to talk about sometimes when we gather as friends. When you go home, if you really want to get the meaning of this, if you want to get the meaning of this, if you want to get the meaning of this, if you want to get the meaning of this, if you want to get the meaning of any of this stuff, just sit down. 10 minutes. In the morning, 10 minutes, that's all. 10 minutes. Look at that. That's your work. It's not for me. It's not for Buddhism. Just look inside. Then you get something. Something you get. It's not a something. But that something, that's our practice. So I hope everybody, don't just Sunday to Sunday, Sunday to Sunday, Dharma talk to Dharma talk, Dharma talk to Dharma talk, Dharma talk to Dharma talk. If you only do that, this is only entertainment. I know it's a little entertaining, but I don't want to be an entertainer. Soon, no more entertainment. Try it. Then you get something. And this something that you get is you. How wonderful. So, thank you everyone for coming on this wonderful day, and we will see you again next time for a talk.